Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into some absolutely fascinating ancient concepts. We're unpacking Gnosticism, taking this incredibly profound, thousands of years old belief system and translating it into something we can all easily wrap our heads around. If you've ever had that sneaking suspicion that there's more to reality than meets the eye, well, you're definitely in the right place. We're going to map out exactly how the ancient Gnostics viewed the universe, human existence, and the ultimate path to true freedom.
So let's kick things off with a pretty wild, highly provocative question. What if the world around you was actually flawed by design? I mean, think about it. Imagine if the physical reality you deal with every single day, the stress, the chaos, the decay, felt less like some perfect divine creation and way more like a glitchy operating system. You know that incredibly frustrating feeling when your phone just won't work right no matter what you do? Well, the Gnostics looked at the entire physical universe with that exact same sense of suspicion. They believed the system itself was fundamentally broken.
To figure out how they tackled that massive question, we're going to follow a four-part awakening arc today. We'll start with material versus spiritual realms, move into the trapped divine spark, then salvation through mystical insight, and finally, returning to the source.
But before we get completely into the weeds, we've got to lock down our core term here, Gnosis. In ancient Greek, it roughly translates to knowledge, but, and this is absolutely crucial, we are not just talking about everyday information. It's not about memorizing facts for a test. In this context, Gnosis is a profound, secret knowledge of a hidden divine reality. It's a total transformational realization, the kind of knowledge that once it clicks, completely rewires how you perceive literally everything around you.
All right, Section 1, Material versus Spiritual Realms. Let's look at how this massive split forms the absolute bedrock of the Gnostic universe.
You know what's really wild is that this entire incredibly complex worldview can essentially be boiled down to a single number: two. Two fundamentally distinct realities. The Gnostics were hardcore dualists, meaning they didn't see the universe as one big unified whole. Not at all. They saw a severe, uncompromising split. And honestly, to understand anything else about their philosophy, we have to grasp this massive dividing line they drew straight down the middle of existence. And here is that ultimate cosmic divide. On one side, we have the material world. The Gnostics viewed our physical universe as deeply flawed, even evil. But here's the crazy twist. They believed this material world was not created by the ultimate supreme God. Nope, it was forged by an inferior, lower-level deity they called the demiurge. On the flip side, we have the spiritual realm. Now this is the true transcendent home of the actual supreme God. It is pure, it's perfect, and it exists entirely separate from the messy, physical stuff we interact with every day.
Let's bring this into the 21st century to really make it click. Think of the demiurge's material world as a super frustrating third-party app that's just full of bugs. It crashes, it's poorly designed, built by an amateur developer who really didn't know what they were doing. That is our physical reality. Now, compare that to the supreme God's spiritual realm. That realm is the pristine, flawless original source code. It's the perfect operating environment, existing totally independent of that glitchy little app.
Which brings us to Section 2, the trapped divine spark. So if the physical world is this flawed system created by an inferior being, where exactly do we fit into the grand cosmic picture?
Well, the absolute crucial point is this. Humans possess a divine spark trapped in the physical body. We are not just biological machines made of material stuff. Deep, deep within our flawed physical bodies, which belong to that glitchy material world of the demiurge, lies a hidden luminous fragment of that supreme, transcendent reality. Literally, a tiny piece of that flawless source code is locked right inside of us.
Think about our human condition like this. Your physical body is merely a heavy, restrictive outer shell. It's a prison, really. But your true inner self, that divine spark, it's like a highly valuable, perfectly encrypted file sitting on a broken hard drive, just waiting to be opened. Or better yet, think of it as a flawless diamond dropped into thick, heavy mud. The mud doesn't change the nature of the diamond, right? But it definitely hides it. The diamond is completely out of place in the mud, just like our divine spark is completely out of place in this physical universe.
Moving right along to Section 3, Salvation through Mystical Insight. Because if we're diamonds trapped in the mud, how do we get out?
Our source material actually gives us the key right here. Salvation is achieved by awakening the spark through direct mystical insight. And this reveals the absolute core of the whole Gnostic belief system. You don't escape this flawed world through physical force. You're not going to build a spaceship to fly over the universe. The escape route is entirely internal. It's a profound inner awakening, a direct experiential realization of your true nature.
Going back to that encrypted file analogy for a second, if the divine spark is that highly valuable locked file sitting on your broken hard drive, then direct mystical insight, Gnosis, is literally the password required to unlock it. It's the decryption key. Without Gnosis, you might live your entire life thinking you're just a broken hard drive, completely unaware of the priceless data stored inside you. Gnosis wakes you up to the reality that you belong to the pristine source code, not the glitchy app.
And that leads us to our final stop, Section 4, Returning to the Source. Let's see where this whole philosophical journey ultimately leads once that spark is finally awake.
So this journey of cosmic liberation breaks down into a really clear four-step process. Step 1. We start out in a state of entrapment, bogged down in the physical body and the material world. Step 2 is the big turning point, experiencing that direct, mystical insight, acquiring Gnosis. Step 3 happens as a direct result. The divine spark within us is finally awakened and decrypted. And then that leads to the glorious Step 4, revealing the actual path back to our true spiritual home, returning to the supreme God and the transcendent realm where we actually belong.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with this to chew on. Even in our modern, crazy, busy lives, do you ever feel that hidden spark trying to wake up? Do you ever look around and feel a sudden, unexplainable disconnect from the material world, like a whisper that you belong to something greater, something way more transcendent? The ancient Gnostics absolutely believed you did. I mean, they built their entire universe around that exact feeling. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this today. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.